Nerd Rage Renegades.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Nerd Rage Renegades podcast. Coming to you live, but recorded.
It's pretty smooth, man.
I know it's smooth. It's smooth, you know, because you got to open that spit valve. What do you know about that, Andrews? Oh, shit.
Yeah, there's just some really good GTA stuff lately.
Oh, man, there's been so much good GTA stuff. We got so much to get into. We got so much to get into tonight. But with the GTA stuff, Bill Ding and Chang Wei are probably some of the best they've done in months. I mean, months.
I'm hysterically laughing at everything. Well, it's funny that the whole saga started with picking Bill up at jail. He picked Bill up at prison, and then they ended it by either dealing with the cops or being arrested at the end of every time he's hung out with them.
Chang, told you be careful the building. I don't like the building.
Oh man, the funniest thing, I was watching the ending again of that, like the last hour.
Uh-huh.
And one of the funniest things is Chang is handcuffed by the tree, and he's waiting there forever, and they're not telling him anything. So he's like, I'm gonna walk over here and see if I can listen and see what's going on. And he walks by near the cops, and he can hear the cops talking, and the one cop is saying, I swear to God, I'm just going to leave him in the desert. I swear to God, I will. And you can tell he's talking about Bill Ding, because Bill's just driving him nuts, because with the, ha!
Oh, you say a stupid old man Vietnam. You don't like Asian people.
Oh man, Bill is the funniest.
Bill's hilarious. Like I said, I liked him I liked his old, and he mentioned his old character Kiki Chanel. I liked Kiki Chanel, and I love Bill Ding. He's just fucking hilarious, man. And now that Chang has more of a purpose now with Bill Ding. He definitely has more of a purpose in that world with Bill Ding now.
The two of them together, man. Oh, they go in the when they go to the apartment of the one woman that left when she left the cab ride. They paid for it too. They paid Chang. The guy paid for the ride. It was, and he tipped him. I think he tipped him. He gave him like $100, and it was like he told him it was $8, and I think he gave him like $108 or something. And but Bill didn't know that he was paid for it, so Bill insisted she didn't pay for the ride. And so they went to their apartment, like followed him home somehow, and found them, and just walked in and said, "You get in the car right now! Get in the car right now! Give me your phone. You have to finish the tour."
Well, that's like for a while, Chang really didn't have a purpose because he was just driving the taxi around, making a couple jokes when his wife would call. With Bill Ding, he has a purpose, and I think for you and me watching these streams, watching this GTA roleplay, that we want these characters to have a purpose in this world that are funny, but also progresses a story. And it finally seems like Chang and Bill progress a story. Like Jerry is no problem. Jerry's story progresses every time Jerry's on. Jerry finds a way to progress his story no matter what.
Yeah, well, he's had that character going longer, I think, and he's in a lot more. He's in the multiverse
RP
now. Sessions.
Well, Jerry's now in the multiverse.
He's everywhere. He's in VRChat.
He's a Monster Hunter. Jerry Curlew.
Yeah, he's like old world monster hunter. Samurai.
I'm a samurai hunting monster. You know, they got to run into Classy's new character.
We know Bill Ding has crossed dimensions as well, because Bill Ding is an Ark.
Oh yeah, he got picked up by aliens and put down on the Ark planet. But we've met Classy's new character, Francis Sinclair.
I gotta watch that. I want to see. I gotta find this Milton guy's stream, because
it's Milton. It's like Milton T. Pike. I have him on. I'll link you because I have him on my.
I gotta see what Bill was telling the cops while he was.
Yeah.
detained because apparently he drove one of those cops so crazy they were going to drive him to the middle of the desert and just kill him.
And see, here's the thing with this, and this pissed me off this weekend, right? So, but Djibouti in the stream saved me. They saved my sanity. They saved my soul. So I had to work out of town this weekend, so I had to get a rental car, and I guess nowadays cars don't come with CD players anymore. Like, they're done away with CD players. You either have to Bluetooth in with your mobile device to listen to music, or you have to have like a USB thumb drive with like all your music on like a thumb drive, right? No CDs.
That's weird.
No more tangible media. Fuck you.
Satellite. They have satellite radio.
Yeah, but you have to pay extra for that with a rental car.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I think. But no, they said no, you stupid old man Vietnam, you don't get no CD player. So I'm flipping through the channels, and we have this 80s station here where I'm at. So I'm like, it's nothing but 80s all the time. So I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm just gonna put this on. I'll listen to some freaking Oingo Boingo, some Tears for Fears. I'll just kick it back to the 80s. Well, I turned it to the station, and 107.3, flip it to the station, and I hear, "This is your creative, imaginative channel or whatever. Next up, so-and-so will be talking with so-and-so from the University of so-and-so about blah, 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 blah." I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? So I listened for a little bit. I actually listened for a little bit. And first they talk about this guy comes on, he's like talking about some stupid violinist that nobody's fucking heard of. He's like, oh, he's going to be really big in the music industry. You just wait, he's a very talented young violinist. I'm like, well, who the fuck is he? Who the fuck is this dude? He's like, we played at the local high school this past... I'm like, oh, he played at the local fucking high school, right? So, and then they start talking...
Hey, man, orchestra, no joke, orchestras make a lot of bread.
They do make a lot of bread.
They charge a lot of money to record things.
Yeah, well...
Like, I read, there was a whole thing, it's a long... If you want to know anything about it, you can read one of Frank Zappa's books.
Yeah.
He bitches about orchestras a lot. But there's got to be money to be made being an orchestral violinist, I guess.
There's got to be, but don't take away my fucking 80 station for your bullshit channel of NPR. And I'm listening to all these hosts, and they are the fucking... I mean, literally, dude, they made my mouth dry. Like, I wasn't talking, I was driving, drinking.
Why'd you listen to it then?
Because it was like there, and it was like, I got to see how bad they are. I just got to see. Because you and I have been podcasting for six years, dude. Between the old show and this show.
Oh yeah,
it's like 5-6 years you and I have been podcasting, and you and I are energetic. We're always up, but listening to these NPR fucking assholes, it's like, so tell me, next time you go here, what can people imagine? What can people think about the way that history is being rewritten today? I'm like, who fucking cares? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. So I was like, fuck it. Bluetooth my phone, go to Twitch, boom, Jerry Curl. And then I just hear... Oh, I'm like, oh yeah, Jerry. So Jerry saved my life because NPR. I mean, I'm sorry. How do these hosts get their jobs on NPR? I mean, they're fucking. They could literally make paint peel listening to these motherfuckers. I mean, literally, they're the driest sons of bitches, and they think people like them. Like, the way they talk, they're like, we are so glad that you joined us today at 10, and then at 7 o'clock tonight. We are so happy that you tuned into your creative station. It's like,
hey,
fuck you, asshole.
Some people probably don't understand why I watch Mountain Monsters.
Because it's entertaining. This is not entertaining. This is like getting a root canal and a freaking an anal enema at the same time, while they're also doing a colonoscopy. It's that fucking bad. So it's almost
speaking of Mountain Monsters, I was a little upset. We haven't heard when a new season is coming yet, and the last we left off, Buck was kidnapped by another group. Mm-hmm. But then there's pictures of Buck at like some convention somewhere, so he must have escaped. He must have escaped the other group, the clutches of the evil group he was in.
It was Sheep Squatch.
Sheep Squatch got him.
It was Sheep Squatch.
In his eyes.
So and also we want to let everybody know, especially our longtime listeners who have listened to the show, we want to let everybody know. We are discontinuing something on the show from now on. There will no longer be Walking Dead TV show recaps on this show. Chief made the
Yeah, I
decision.
haven't done them in a long time anyway. So
well, we've been
not
off
really
season. We did it a little bit in the first part of this season, but with Gimple playing character death roulette, and just picking and choosing what he wants from the comic books to put a death on a character. It's bullshit, and I will tell you, Chief has not read any articles on this. He hasn't followed anything on this because Chief checked out. He checked out of the hotel and he just went off. He got in his van.
Well, I mean, it's my choice as a consumer of Walking Dead products. I mean,
it is your choice.
I have tons of Walking Dead stuff that I'm a consumer of the product, and I no longer enjoy the televised version of the product.
Exactly.
I still like the comic. I read the comic.
Yeah,
I like
still good. Comic's still great.
But the show has just gone off the rail for me. It's so stupid.
And it really does seem like every news outlet I read today, just because coming on the show tonight, I wanted to discuss it a little bit or just mention it. And it seems like every news outlet said that Carl's death was the most pointless, meaningless death in the whole show, and it carries no weight. Gimple said it's going to be impactful, and it has no weight because apparently Carl's final words to his dad was, "Make peace with the saviors."
So they were going to do that anyway.
Carl wants him to make peace with the saviors, knowing that Rick's still going to have this fucking war. And the fact that they're like that even they came out and said, oh well, he still has Michonne and Judith, he'll be fine. The dude went fucking nutsoid and was hearing freaking phone calls when Lori died. So when Carl dies, you just expect him to lace up his bootstraps. How do you have him go? First of all, how do you have him lose his fucking mind and go into the deepest, darkest, barren halls of a prison, killing walkers by the frickin' tons in a frickin' rage because Lori died, but Carl dies and he's just like, I'm still getting that Michonne. It's all good. It's all gravy.
Well, the thing is what I told you before is the Carl. He tells everyone. I mean, this wasn't even that long ago. I can't remember exactly when this happened in the book, but at some point in the book, he told the group, I've never done, or he says everything I've ever done to keep all of you alive was only to keep Carl alive. And he goes, then to tell all of you the truth, I would, if it meant me and Carl surviving, I'd kill every one of you.
Yeah.
And he told them that before. So the whole reason that Rick is such a survivor and is never killed and is never Rick always wins and comes back is because Carl was his hope and inspiration for the future. That's why he fought to bring civilization back to the East Coast in the comic book. It's the reason he built Alexandria. It's the reason he thought up like having a government of some kind. It's the reason he thought up all these things and how to rebuild things. And Carl was his inspiration to do all of that. Without you see what happens to Rick when he loses people.
Oh yeah.
In the comic book right now, Andrea just died recently,
which they kind of
Rick's sleep has kind of fallen down. Rick, that kind of means Carl's going to be taken over. Is what I would assume that means. Carl is fallen into a leadership role now because his dad is a whack job who's in a power struggle with Dwight, and he sleeps on Andrea's grave every night. And he's basically useless now. So I mean, in the comics, so.
He's completely useless now. and
so I mean, it's Carl's like the future of the thing. It's like you murdered the future for some shock value. It's almost like he took the show itself, the franchise of the TV show, and just cut its throat on TV just to watch it bleed. And it's gonna fail because he's an idiot. Gimple's an idiot.
And I thought about it today. I was thinking.
Or whoever wrote that is an idiot. I don't know who Gimple. Whoever is responsible for Carl dying.
I mean, he's the showrunner. He okayed this bullshit.
Well, yeah. It basically falls on his shoulders for allowing it to happen.
And I was thinking about it today. Carl getting bitten during a fight with walkers, not really realizing it, and then realizing he got bitten and dies. That's Andrea's fucking death from the book. But from what I'm hearing, see, Andrea went out like a hero. Everybody came in, they paid their respects. Even Negan came in and paid his respects and told Andrea that if anybody was to kill him, he wanted it to be her. you know. But Carl doesn't get shit. He doesn't get shit. And like literally from what I'm hearing now, I didn't watch the show. I'm not going to.
Well, it was an off-screen. Take the probably
the easy way out.
I mean, the popular characters, of course, are always going to be like the ones that like everybody talks about Carol and Daryl and
Carol
and
sucks.
Negan.
Daryl sucks.
But I mean, when it boils down to really for the story purposes, the most important core characters to me have always been Rick and Carl.
Yeah.
And to take easily, it's debatable with first or second and most important, whatever. But I mean, one of the most important, top two most important characters in the story, and what's to come with the Romeo and Juliet kind of parallel with Carl and the girl running off, yeah, and Lydia running off, and the two kingdoms, the Whisperers and Alexandria clashing because of Carl and Lydia. And so that is all, that's fucked up now. How are they going to do that? And I suppose you can take a sidekick, but it loses the impact when it's not Carl, when it's not like the Prince of Alexandria not having it.
What are they going to do? They're going to have old Chewbacca, Daryl, frickin' boning Alpha's frickin' daughter? I mean, the fuck, But I don't know.
I just don't like Daryl. There was one scene that he redeemed himself this last season and that's when the guy was hiding. A savior guy was hiding behind a car or something at the end, and Rick and Daryl were there, and Daryl's like, yeah, come on out. We won't kill you. We just want to ask you some questions. So they ask the guy questions, and Daryl just shoots him in the head anyway and kills him. Which I thought, that's pretty fucking cool. But other than that, Daryl's a character that Daryl's been getting on my nerves since like season 4 or something. So
yeah, and it's all because of the Walker Stalker motherfuckers. I mean, son of a bitch.
Oh, that's a whole culture of stuff that's popped up. That's like, it feels hollow. And it just feels like a cash grab to me. I don't know. Some people might get enjoyment out of it. I would not get that much enjoyment paying these actors $60 after I've already paid for tickets and parking and food for the day and getting in. And it's like, come on, what? Really, you get no amenities at this thing?
Yeah. Well, it's like there's a local wrestling show that's going to be happening this upcoming weekend. I was thinking about taking my kids to it. Because I'm thinking like it's a local wrestling thing at the high school, so it's not gonna be that much to get in, right? No, they have like different tier systems if you want ringside or sitting in the bleachers, and it's still like $20 a pop if you want like bleacher seats. But then if you want to get an autograph and a picture with like Kevin Nash or Scott Steiner, who are gonna be there, you got to pay $30 more. Now, I understand, like, when we went to C2E2 and they were there, you pay, they wanted they wanted pay for autographs. I mean, they're there to make, that's their appearance stuff. But, I mean, I would already be paying my nose just to see some local fucking wrestlers. If I want to see the ones that actually made something of themselves, I got to pay more money? I'm like, maybe I'll just stay home, let the boy play my new Super Nintendo Mini Classic. And just kind of veg out. Did I mention I found that I bought a Super Nintendo?
I think you mentioned it to me a couple of times.
Oh my god! Did I? So we went out. I thank God for tax season. So this is how great tax season was. So I got my tax return, and then like a day later was pay, and then a few days from now I get my VA check in. So it's like money's just like pouring in right now. And we went out yesterday.
So Spin lives it.
Yeah, don't even. Don't even. Nobody knows. I'm more secretive. You're like, I live in Rockford. Come on down. I'm like, fuck you, stay away from me.
Come to my house. I'm not gonna do that anymore. I actually taken that video down a long time ago, but I think I gave my address out one time.
Was that was the one where you were like, come on over. We'll talk. You can sleep on my couch. But so we went out yesterday. We went to eat. And then I was like, we went to a place my wife wanted to go to, and then I was like, I want to go to Target. I want to check something, because I wanted to look for like some headphone splitters and things like that, just some little knickknacks I needed to pick up. So my son and I walked back to the video game section, and I look in the case, and they were turned to the side, so you really couldn't see what the hell they were. So I looked down, and they had 2 Super Nintendo Mini Classics, and I looked at my son. I was like, dude, you know what the hell this is, you know? So I went over, and my son's like, you're not going to talk to Mom first? I'm like, hell no, I'm not going to talk to your mom first. Tax return came in. I'm getting my fucking my Super NES Classic, damn it. You know, so I told the guy, I want one of those, and you're going to pay it for me. He's like, do you want the warranty? I'm like, I don't want no fucking warranty, because it's going to go up on my gaming, in my vault. It's going to be good. It's not going to die. It's going to be fantastic. So I bought it, and I went, and my wife's like, what'd you buy? I'm like, Super Nintendo Mini Classic. She's like, oh, don't discuss it with your wife, huh? I'm like, you know I wanted this. There was no discussion. I would have gotten it anyway. This was not a let's think about it. This was a holy shit, I found one in the wild. Let's catch it. So I get home, and I look.
That's what happened with my Ghost Rider #1. It wasn't quite as exciting because it didn't cost me that much.
So this thing,
I'm getting that.
This thing, I love this thing. So I love these mini classic things because, you know, yes, I do love the original cartridges. I love getting original cartridges. But there are those games where the cartridges, because of collectors or things like that, they have skyrocketed. So on the Super Nintendo Mini Classic, you have the game Earthbound. Now, I have seen shops close by me that have in-box Earthbound cartridges that they want like $400 to $500.
That's insane, man. I can't believe how much retro cartridges go for some of those. I can't believe that one's like thousands and thousands of dollars.
It's like a
really lame one.
Like stores want like $60 for freaking Mega Man, you know. And I'm cheap. I'm a cheap
like
bastard.
Current brand new game prices for some old game.
Yeah, which I had already, like the day before, I'd already bought my son Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet, which was like $60 for the PlayStation. And I was thinking about getting Monster Hunter, but I decided to hold off on it. I will probably eventually get Monster Hunter World. It looks really good. I really do want to try that shit. Yeah. But this mini classic, I mean, it's got Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, Mario World, F-Zero, Super Castlevania, Super Metroid, Earthbound, Star Fox, the unreleased Star Fox 2. Which, in order to, you have to unlock that game on the system. You have to beat the first stage of Star Fox to be able to play Star Fox 2. You know, so yeah, I took 5 minutes out of my time, beat the first stage of Star Fox, and unlocked Star Fox 2. But it's got like Super Punch Out, a couple Kirby games, like 2 Kirby games. I think they could have done with 1 and then added in like Chrono Trigger or something. But so of course I spent 6 hours last night on Final Fantasy III, which is my favorite Final Fantasy of all time, or Final Fantasy VI as it was known in Japan. And yeah, I played 6 hours straight just playing that game last night. And my wife's like, are you getting far in the game? I'm like, well, I've played this game once a year since I owned it as a kid. I have it on like PlayStation. I have it on like Game Boy Advance. I have every
annual gameplay.
It's the annual game. That and Final Fantasy 2 are my annual gameplays. Although I'm thinking of doing an annual gameplay of Resident Evil 7 just because of how much I love that game. Just go back and play through it every couple of months.
I used to be like that with Resident Evil 2, and I played that 3 or 4 times all the way through.
And that's getting remade next year. That will have a remake next year.
That I hope it's done like keep it pretty much the same and maybe tweak some things. But
I think it's going to be more.
I love the way it's laid out and how it.
I think it's going to be kind of like the way they remade the first Resident Evil for like GameCube, and then they HD'd it and they kind of remastered it for the newer consoles. I think it's going to be like that, and if they do that, then I would love to see them redo like Resident Evil 3, Resident Evil Code Veronica, those games.
It was challenging, I guess. But it didn't feel like Resident Evil was the one where you're killing natives for the entire game. Like the entire game is like just killing natives.
Which one, 4 or 5?
I think it's 5.
5. You were playing as Redfield, right?
It's not Leon. I thought
Leon was number 4. Chris Redfield was number 5.
Yeah, it was 5 because I remember 6 came out and I didn't like it. It was a weird format change in 6.
6 was a lot more action oriented.
It was like split in half. It was like 2 different games or something. And it was odd.
Yeah.
But yeah, five, I think 5 was the one where you go around and you just shoot like native villagers for
Yeah.
the whole game.
I checked out that show, the Frankenstein Chronicles, on Netflix the other night.
Yeah.
With Sean Bean, and I do have the counter going. I guess Sean Bean survives at least till season 2. I'm like, wait a minute,
Somebody stole my joke. I saw it on Facebook about they showed that show was going to be on, and then somebody said like the headline was, "Will Sean Bean survive the first season?"
Yeah, so I guess he does. But so I'm watching it, not really to give too much away. I thought it was like actually in like the Frankenstein universe, like he's out to get like Frankenstein, like Victor Frankenstein's creating a bunch of like bodies, and he's out to get Victor Frankenstein. It turns out that's not the case, because Mary Shelley is a character in this story, and she's already written the book Frankenstein. So it's somebody kind of mimicking stuff she did in the book. Like there's historical people in this series. It's like the William Blake, the guy who wrote, the guy who did the dragon, like the Red Dragon, like the paintings from like Red Dragon,
Yeah. How many seasons have they done?
2 seasons. There's 2 seasons up on Netflix. I mean, it's real. I mean, I like it. It's shot really well. I just kind of was a little bit disappointed. I thought it was actually going to be like he's after Victor Frankenstein.
Yeah. That's what I would hope it would be too.
Yeah. Because I'm looking for new stuff to watch. I don't have cable. I'm looking for new stuff to watch. I finished Bates Motel, so I'm done with that, which kind of sucks because I love Mother. I really do love Mother, and I really wish Mother would come back to me.
I was talking to my wife about this the other day. It was like TV was completely different when I was a kid. It seemed like through the spring and summer, it seemed like that's when like it was like development months or whatever, and that like this shows would go off for the season.
Yeah.
Then like in the fall, all the shows would come on, and they'd be on like all through the year, like the rest of the year. And you'd have a new episode of things like every week. And it's like now it's like they take mid-season hiatus. It's like shows are just scattered out everywhere across the whole year.
I don't think we ever really noticed it, because when they would not have, like when they were filming new episodes, they would be playing reruns of like the older episodes. Like it would always be on. It would just be like tonight's a rerun.
Yeah.
So you never really knew. You never knew about like a mid-season or anything like that, because the show, like a sitcom, like sitcoms, they would play reruns, but there was always, you would always be like, you wouldn't know that they were not, like, you didn't even know about seasons. You're just like, hey, on Wednesday at this time, I'm gonna watch Tim Allen go, So, but now with Netflix, it's like they're even doing it with Netflix, like with like Fuller House. They would do like Fuller House season 3 part 1, and you'd get like 5 episodes, and then they would come out like months later with like part 2.
I guess like the whole like how they're financed and everything is like all different now than it used to be.
Yeah.
Things have changed in the entertainment industry. It's really weird. It's like totally different. Like it's weird. It's like the whole world has changed since I was a kid, and it's really strange to see.
Here's what's really weird. So today I went to my kid's school, and I did this program where I go in and I go in the classrooms and help them like learn stuff and stuff. And it's so weird to how education has changed. Like I'm sitting there talking to the teacher, my daughter's teacher, and I'm like, and I even told her, I said, I don't want to like assume anything, but you look young. I don't know how old you are, but I went to school in the 90s. My textbook was from 1954. We still thought the sun was a big demon in the sky and it was going to kill us if it saw us. We get scared when the sun goes away and the moon comes up. That's our education. Or like you said, the sky is is just a sack with holes punched into it. That's ours. But they're learning so much like revisionist history. It's crazy what they're learning and then what they're like getting told. Like they were doing like explorers like Columbus, Ponce de Leon, and really all their essays were more on like the atrocities these people committed, not what they contributed. It was all about them like stealing land and killing and things like that. I'm like, the fuck? I mean, I looked at the teacher. I'm like, are you ever like, what are you gonna say about Leif Erikson, that he was a barbarian? It's fucking. I don't know, man. The world is advancing, and it's like I don't want to advance. I want to be in the 19s. I want to be in the golden. I want to be in like the silver age of comic books and just get all those good silver age books and just enjoy life to its fullest. Eat meat.
Go back to the 70s roller disco.
Hell, you darn right.
Hang out at a roller disco.
Damn right, Sifu. Because if we were in the 70s, Chief, we would have our minds and our bodies in sync.
That's right.
And you dig
because this ain't small stuff.
This ain't small stuff. Get your hands off me. We did find that Rodan did have a third movie, and we're looking for it so we can watch Velvet Smooth, because he's in Velvet Smooth.
Yeah, I've seen Velvet Smooth, and I used to own it. I got it was like one of those 4-movie sets. I think I bought it at Best Buy years ago, and I don't even know if they still have those things out. But like at Best Buy, they used to put out, and they used to have them other places too. But like at Best Buy, you'd have like 20 movies, 20 Barbarian movies for, $5.99 or some crazy price. So I would go and I would buy all these fucking sets of really bad movies. And I just had, at one point, I had a library of just garbage. like shelves and shelves of the shit that I'd had.
It was still gold.
And I ended up, when I started going digital, especially when streaming started coming along, and you could literally look up anything on Amazon Prime or Amazon and find any fucking movie you want to watch at any time of the day. So I got rid of all those. But I had VHS tapes stacked to my ceiling of just horrible shit that I bought over the years. And Velvet Smooth was one of those movies. It was in like a 4-movie set, and it is every bit everything you want it to be. I promise. If we find this, I think it's got to be on YouTube or somewhere.
It's got to be.
But it's really funny. I'm gonna see if it's on YouTube.
See, I love those sets. I bought there was one Best Buy had, and it was like all the Gamera movies for like $5.
Yeah, you could get what it was is there'd be they'd try to find there'd be one movie in the whole set with one star, but or somebody that was either became a star, like the way Kevin Bacon was in the first Friday the 13th and then went on to become famous. But it'd be some star that was in something 40 years ago, and they'll put them right on the cover of the set. Look, the big selling point.
Yeah, like Jennifer Aniston with the Leprechaun.
Or even old horror movies, they'll find one of Bela Lugosi's shittier movies. It's not Dracula. It's not going to be Dracula. It's not going to even be White Zombie or any of that. It's going to be versus a Brooklyn Gorilla or one of those fucking...
It's Bela Lugosi meets the Brooklyn Gorilla.
It's going to be something like that, but it'll have Bela Lugosi's Dracula photo on the front, solid. But yeah, there'd be one decent movie usually. At least one that's entertaining, and then there'd just be 19 shitty, almost unwatchable
I got a few
pieces
of those,
of shit on it.
I got a few of the, I got one, it was the fantasy collection, right? And literally, the only good movie in that entire set is Beastmaster. The first Beastmaster, before his boobs started becoming eggs. But then you'd get, the one I see all the time around Halloween, it's 20 slasher movies, right? But the only one that is of note on there is Prom Night with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh.
It's the only one on there.
Yeah,
that makes
they're
sense.
the Terror Train or whatever that movie. That other movie. Remember that movie she was on? I think it's called is it Terror Train with Jamie Lee Curtis?
Yeah.
It was right after, or I don't know if it was before or after Halloween, but.
But it's even that one I bought that has Bunny Man on it. I bought it solely because it had Bunny Man on it, because I thought, we always thought every it's the Halloween tradition. I talk about the Bunny Man bridge. I was oh, maybe this is about the Bunny Man, and it's not. It's Texas Chainsaw Cabin in the Woods with a guy in a bunny suit.
Yeah.
I have your copy. I'll bring it at C2E2.
Excellent. There was one that I had that I bought it solely because it had Last Man on Earth with Vincent Price.
That's a good one. That's the best one of those made.
I was looking to watch that movie in particular, and I was looking just for a DVD. It was weird because I was looking for just a DVD of that, just any in the horror section. I wonder if they have Vincent Price in this movie because I want to see it. And I was looking through all their shitty sets of horror movies, and it was on one of those. I was like, well, I'll just get the whole set. Because I don't think, you don't even think you can buy like just a DVD of that. Can you buy that just on a DVD?
There was like there's 3 versions of that movie. There's one with Price, there's one with Charlton Heston, and then the Will Smith one.
Yeah, Omega Man is with Charlton Heston.
And then I Am Legend is Will Smith. Those
Mathesons, like Richard Matheson wrote a lot of cool stories, really.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't just he wrote that, and that's a movie that's a book that Romero kind of borrowed from for Night of the Living Dead, like being the guy who was in the house, he had it all boarded up with the vampires outside. And the book is, I recommend anybody go get the book I Am Legend. I have it somewhere around here. But the book is so cool, and the vampire legend is kind of twisted around in it, but it's really there's like different stages of them in the book, and it's not like Will Smith. They were like these mutant people with like a blood disorder. These are like real like traditional like vampires, and but they're not like the goofy stuff like garlic, and I think garlic actually does. Yeah, garlic does work on them in the book. They are allergic to garlic, and they can't be around sun, but like crosses and shit don't work. Like religious things don't work on them, but they are like in like weird stages of like some of the people that come to try to get in to get the guy in the book are like they're still alive, but they had this virus and they're almost vampiric. And then there are some that have actually died and resurrected and are actually undead vampires that are out there. And it talks. There's even a part in the book where he says that he has to clean these bodies up off the lawn every night because when they come, they all gather around the house and try to get in. When the undead ones find out that they can't get in the house, then they turn on the still living infected and feed off of them. So the guy every morning has to get up and clean up the bodies of the people that it's a pretty horrifying thing, but yeah, he has to pick up the dead from the vampire slaughter on his lawn every night.
A show that's coming out on Netflix, talking about shows coming out. Now this is one you and I think will check out. The new Lost in Space comes out in April.
Yeah, I saw pictures of that. I saw a couple of like promo shots of it, of the kid, like Will Robinson.
Yeah.
And the mom.
I watched the trailer, and it's the trailer's pretty interesting because it's Maureen. It's her name's Maureen, right? Maureen Robinson, or Marion Robinson, Mrs. Robinson. It's her doing a voiceover about exploration, and it shows like the Robinson family getting on the ship. Now, I think it's just the Robinson family they showed. They didn't show Dr.
I love you, wife.
I love you, wife. They didn't show Dr. Smith, who in this one is played by Parker Posey. So they really just showed the family. But at the very end of the trailer, you do hear a robot voice go, "Danger, Will Robinson, danger."
Well, you can watch the old show on MeTV, I think it is, on Saturdays. It's the Sci-Fi Saturday or whatever they do on there.
With the wife from Lassie in it.
Yeah. She got around.
Yeah.
She's
June
also
Lockhart.
she's also in Troll.
Yeah.
Isn't she? Is it her in Troll? And then her daughter plays the younger version. Her real life daughter plays the younger version of her.
That show, that was like one of those good, like, that show came out at like height of like all the the space exploration type shows, and it was a good show. And then you get that movie with freaking William Hurt, and he's just so dry and he's so deadpan. I love you, wife.
Well, there was no fun to it. Lost in Space was like a goofy, like swinging '60s sci-fi show, and they just sucked all the life out of it with that movie. It wasn't lighthearted at all, really. I mean, there were moments, but none of it was really funny, and it was. I don't know. I think it was they were trying to get something going with that, with like a toy line, and
Dr. Smith becomes like a giant spider. I'm like, but I'm interested to check that out. There's so much stuff coming out. Got a release date for the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, Chief.
Really?
Yeah,
Like
November.
a real theater movie,
A
or is it
real
like a
theater
Netflix?
movie. A real theater movie. November 19th, 2019. Is what it's looking like. Now, here's why I'm scared. Here's why I'm scared. And you know I'm a big Sonic fan. Here's why I'm scared.
Isn't it weird they haven't done like an animated Mario movie ever? Like a real good one?
Oh, not. Oh, okay. You had to say a good one, not that Japanese one.
No, no, I'm talking about like a modern day like Hollywood.
Well, remember
You'd think they would have drained that dry by now.
Remember, it's Mario and Luigi Mario. You got two Marios, Mario and Luigi Mario. A monkey. Where did you evolve from? Tyrannosaurus Rex, king of the dinosaurs. I'm Dennis Hopper. You know. So the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, it's from what they're saying, it's going to be based on the Sonic Adventure game from the Dreamcast, and it's going to be a mixture of live action and CGI. So my first thought is, now I play Sonic Adventure, there's humans in it, yada yada, but my first thought is, holy shit, Sonic is going to go from Mobius and he's going to end up in New York City, and Neil Patrick Harris is going to be a father, and Sonic's going to have to help Neil Patrick Harris realize that he can be a father and he'll be a good father. It's just going to be crazy, and then they're going to...
And he's going to fix the ad campaign.
And he's going to fix the ad campaign, and it's going to be like faster than Blue Lightning or Blue Speed or something like that. So I am very, very... Really a Sonic movie, I want it to be like Sonic Saturday, morning cartoon. I want it to be Sonic versus.
Why would you base it on something that boring instead of basing it on the comics that have been going on for 30 years or however long ago? Why wouldn't you take some of those elements? They had serious stuff going on in the comic books at one time.
Oh, back like around in the hundred, like the hundreds, and then a little bit into the 200s, mostly in the hundreds, maybe around 60 to 100 and the 200. There's so much going on. I mean, there's
the existing mythology of adventure right there. It's why not tap that?
There's so much. Now remember, I still think that I don't know if that guy who created some of the characters and then got butthurt and took him to cook Archie to court and said you couldn't use my characters, has a little bit to play into it, but I mean, here's the thing: you're basing it off of the game. Don't have Hollywood. You have learned absolutely nothing. You first of all, you have given multiple movies to Uwe Boll based on video games, and I don't know.
Uwe Boll's Sonic the Hedgehog would be funny to see.
Oh my god!
Just see coins in the middle of the screen, the 8-bit coins go ding.
Dolph Lundgren voices Sonic.
The rings are just jingling up in the middle of the screen.
But I mean, you
Dolph Lundgren is. I must spin dash.
I must go fast and break you. But you fucked up with Mario. Okay, you fucked up. Now I will admit, to me, Mario Brothers is a guilty pleasure movie. It's one of those that's it's bad, but I'll put it on just cause it's I want to watch this bad movie again. Same with Street
new
Fighter.
Generation doesn't know anything about that movie. I can't even find. I'm trying to find a copy of that just on a shitty DVD, at a grocery store or something. I can't find it anywhere. It's that hard to find. It's not on any streaming service I can find.
Right.
I think they just erased it. So I mean, that's another one that's got a rich mythology behind it that they could make something cool out of. Do a 3D animated Pixar Mario. That would be fucking amazing, and people would love it.
You know what they need to do, and I'm surprised that we've only ever really gotten a cartoon series out of it, is The Legend of Zelda. Imagine Legend of Zelda a Lord of the Rings movie. Zelda's a Lord of the Rings type movie, and even do it in 3 parts. I would love to see a 3-part Zelda movie just epically done. That would be fucking awesome. I mean, you could do movies based off of that. Metroid. Metroid would be another one that would just be amazing to make as a movie.
Well, yeah. I mean, you gotta I think that you're right on. So you forget about gameplay and you take story and what the game is based on, and you make the movie what the game is supposed to be based on.
Yeah.
You don't try to incorporate gameplay into it. You take with Castlevania. You take that intro in the instruction book and you extrapolate on that, the point and the history of it, and you make it that instead of trying to, oh, look, here's the glowing sphere from the game.
Oh, he whipped a candle. Which, I mean,
don't do that shit. Just write a good story, man.
Well, give credit. Netflix, the Castlevania series on Netflix is really, really fucking good.
That's really animation good. You can do just better. You can get away with anything.
Yeah.
Like I said, like the Justice League, I'm sure like all those cartoons and stuff aren't like the greatest, but I mean, they're still gonna blow the live action away just because the animation is cool. You can get away with a lot of shit with cool artwork.
Exactly, but like Street Fighter. Street Fighter is another guilty pleasure for me, just because I love hearing Jean-Claude Van Damme say, "I'm going to get in my boat, and I'm gonna go up the river, and I'm going to kick M. Bison's ass so hard." You know, I love that, and I just love. Of course, Raul Julia. I mean, why do they call me a warlord and a madman? I mean, I love Raul Julia in that role. That movie. Oh my god! But it was so funny. But they've tried it so many times with video game movies, and they don't work. Now they're trying it again with Tomb Raider. They're rebooting the Tomb Raider movie, or the Tomb Raider franchise as a movie. They're doing Sonic. They don't.
Video game movies, I don't know. It's just hard to make a decent movie. I guess a lot of people like Warcraft.
I liked the Warcraft movie. Now I liked it because I understood the lore behind. I watched the movie. I know the lore because I played the game. But I am very quick to say, like, if you've never played the game, you know nothing about the lore. Yeah, you're probably lost, and it's just a generic fantasy movie for someone who has never delved into that world. I understand that, but for me, I enjoyed it. I wish they'd make it did well in China, you know. Shanghai Drift. Maybe I would like another movie, but I don't know. You know, it's like you said it. I said I like the Momoa Conan, but we haven't seen another Conan movie.
Hey man, that movie, I saw that again the other day. It was on cable, and yeah, I think it's great, man. I think you got the big budget Arnold ones that are like the legendary early Arnold movies, but I mean Momoa's Conan is so much more Conan and dead on. I think it's a really underrated Conan movie.
Yeah. Where are two snakes facing each other?
Well, it's like Conan is like in this. He's like smart and he's capable, and he's not just a barbarian that blunders through everything. He's like he's got a crew, like a pirate crew, and he speaks different languages, and he's a smart dude, and like I love. There's a part in it that's awesome when he makes a guy swallow the key. One of the guys that killed his father, he makes swallow the key to there's a whole like chain of like slaves that they're taking away in chains that are all chained together. These like warlord guys, and Conan makes the guy swallow the key and takes him out in front of the people, and it was like the key to your chains is in this man's belly, and just fucking like leaves the guy there, and like all the people just come and just tear this guy to pieces, getting into his guts.
But we don't get another one of those. It's like we will get every fucking dumb movie. You know, we're getting a movie where John Cena doesn't want his daughter to have sex on prom night, so him and his like wife and his like friend or brother or whatever is going to try to stop them.
That shit, I can't even watch. I don't watch like anything like that. I rarely ever see like modern comedies ever. I want to see the Tommy Wiseau one.
Oh, Best Friends. That one I do want to see.
The Disaster Artist too. I want to see that.
I want to see that.
But like the comedies like that, I'm not gonna watch that ever. No. I'm not like I will see like I love the big sci-fi fantasy superhero movies and stuff, and I like TV like Netflix and Amazon Prime and shit like that. And like the big budget comedies like that or dramas or that shit goes right by me. I don't know any of it. I don't watch it. I don't care about it.
I really don't know. It's like I said, that show This Is Us. Everybody's like, oh my god, it's such a great show. I'm like,
I couldn't take that. I hate that shit. I just hate it. It's also like 3 minutes of it.
Like I'll admit this. I watched quite a bit of the British version of The Office with Ricky Gervais. Okay, and I thought that was funny, but the American version I never really got into.
Yeah, I haven't watched like sitcom like Always Sunny. I love that because it's just dark and hardcore.
I have never seen an episode of Mad Men.
Yeah, I never seen that. I did like Breaking Bad, and that I thought that was really good. I still highly recommend that to anybody if you haven't seen it to try to get past the part that you think is boring because it gets really heated and good like later on.
I like Bates Motel. I really enjoyed Bates Motel, but then again, I'm a fan of Hitchcock. My wife started watching Grace and Frankie on Netflix, and she's like, "You gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. It's funny." I'm like, That's Anna Y. Jane right there. That's Jane Fonda. That's Anna Y. Jane. I ain't watching shit with Anna Y. Jane in it. Fuck her." So she has me watch like an episode or two, and I'm just sitting there stone-faced. She's like, "What? It's not funny?" I said, "I hate Jane Fonda. I fucking hate Jane Fonda. I cannot support anything with Jane Fonda in it." You know?
I wouldn't want to watch it. Like, I don't, I don't know. There's a certain, like I said, my TV is always on like MeTV and classic television shit. And it's like, I just don't find anything on TV entertaining hardly anymore.
I really don't. I mean, I really, really don't.
GTA RP is the way to go for me, too.
It's
GTA RP,
and I want to
old Star Trek reruns,
now,
or Kolchak, or something like that that's a classic thing, and modern shit can just fuck off. I don't care.
I do think, before we go into comic books in a little bit, I really do want to spend just a couple minutes and give some props, because we always talk about how great Djibouti is, and by proxy we talk about how great Classy Packs is. Because they are fantastic. Those two channels are just brimming with content. They're amazing. I mean, Classy Packs, now that his full-time job is Twitch streaming, I mean, his streams, he has one on there that's like 14 hours long. I
don't know how they do that.
Well, that's his job now. So his job is just to get on and stream. But he like break it up, like he did GTA and then he did like some virtual reality stuff. But I do think, we got to give props to some of the other role players that are in this world, like Milton, Bill Ding.
Bill Ding is my new favorite character of all time.
That
guy makes me, everything that guy does makes me laugh. Everything that comes out of his mouth, and especially if he's dealing, like every time he gets with you see him with the cops, there's like he's surrounded by 5 cops and they're about ready to kill him every time.
I gotta give props to 50 Antho. That is 50 Antho on the Twitch. That is Officer Andrew. That is Chief of Police. Officer Andrews.
Chief Andrews now.
He's Chief Andrews. For putting up with Jerry the other night with the ride-along. Jerry got another ride-along with Andrews and just was giving him shit.
Yeah, classic. Like I said, they've been killing it with RP lately. The Djibouti and just Djibouti and Bill Ding. And you got a little bit of Classy in that one, the last Bill Ding too. It was like a 7. Well, they did 7 hours last time.
Whoever does the Officer Johnny Dazzler.
Yeah, that guy's good too.
Gotta give him some props. He's good.
He reminds me of like Owen Wilson became a cop.
Yeah.
He's kind of laid back and he just rolls with everything there's telling him.
And then of course Disby Eriks. Disby, who plays Granny Fanny, and she also does Princess Dee Dee. Her putting up with Chang when Bill Ding stole her car. And they had to go find the car, and Chang's like, you pay me $500 now, then $500 when we get to building. That $1,000, yeah, you got $500 now, $500 when we get to building. Yeah. And buildings like that. My girlfriend Granny, how you doing, Granny? My girlfriend, my honey Lovekins. So and Disby, especially Disby when she does that anime girl voice.
Oh yeah. That I didn't know that was her. That's really convincing. It sounds really like a real, like she really knows how to like speak Japanese, and
she's really, really good. And then on not on GTA but on the VRChat. First of all, gotta give it up to Wizard's Gambit, because he has done so much for Djibouti on VRChat. And Chief, guess what he did for Djibouti on VRChat? Guess what they'll be able to do now? I
Um,
saw it on his Twitter. They're now going to get to go to Flavortown, Chief.
we got.
You got Guy Fieri.
Oh, that's
You got
gonna be
him, Guy
great.
Fieri.
I can't wait for that.
But this dude,
Oh man, I cannot watch. I saw Triple D was on the other day when
I
my
can't
wife had it
watch
on.
it.
I can't watch that without hearing Djibouti's voice for a Guy Fieri.
Me either.
Hey
But-
Fedora, go in the back and cook me a bald eagle sandwich.
Hey, you dropped $1. No. My doctor says I shouldn't have any of this, but what the fuck does he know? No.
That's some good dog.
That's a good dog.
I know dog when I taste it.
Oh my god, even your pineapple's spicy. What is this? That's a what is it? That's a Caribbean jalapeno.
Yeah, look,
Jamaican jalapeno.
Jamaican, how was your accent? Bombaclad and shit.
So, you want to make out?
It's like a big moist cave down there.
So, but yeah, so they get to do that. He also he's the one who brought the avatars for Jerry and Captain Peter in there. Got Jerry his saxophone. So now when they do a certain thing with their hand, Jerry's got his saxophone.
They ever fixed Jerry's legs, or does he still run weird?
He's still like a crab. He still looks like a crab. The guy who plays Mark on VRChat.
Oh yeah, that guy.
He's his avatar. He's usually always Clarence, but it's Mark. What are you, my dad?
I like Gummy.
Gummy's funny.
When they flip it, Gummy.
Flip it, Gummy. Pen gang, pen gang, pen gang. Fuck the Knuckles. It's all about the pen gang. But all those guys are. If you have not, and I know we're not getting paid by these guys, we just really love them. If you have not, you got to download Twitch, get a Twitch account, get on Djibouti, the Djibouti show on Twitch. You
can find all these other
And it's on
streamers
YouTube.
through their channel. Usually, they've usually got them all.
They're usually all
but
there. Milton,
yeah, and
Classy, and then you can get them on
Djibouti Dubs, Djibouti Studios on YouTube. They put the streams on there too. So
and definitely
if you don't want to mess with Twitch,
yeah, and go check out Dub It Out. Dub It Out I love it whenever a new Dub It Out comes out. I just laugh my ass off with Dub It Out.
yeah, it's definitely. Those guys put out so much content every week and different stuff too between the YouTube and Twitch that I gave them the Amazon Prime. I finally figured out how to do that. So I got a Prime account, and then I've got a regular Twitch account. But I figure, if I'm going to support, I'd probably watch those guys more than I do anything else. I watch I watch Djibouti's channel on YouTube and their Twitch account more than regular TV. So it's I'd rather give them my money than anything else.
I give them my money. I got my badge upgrade the other month, so now I got my badge upgrade. And I just love it because some of our friends who do, some of our guys who are on Gaming Rebellion started up a Twitch streaming channel. So it's like 3 or 4 of them, like Brazzle Gamer and those. They go on there, they'll play different games on this Twitch channel that they're trying to get off the ground. And you'll just see, like, they're playing, and then all of a sudden you just see a whole bunch of Djibouti sugar get dropped in their chat. And it's me dropping, like, weird Djibouti sugar and weird Djibouti, like Damon or something in their chat. They're like, what the fuck is that? But I do have to give props to those guys. Every time I pop in their chat, they're like, hey, it's the Renegades. How you guys doing, I'm hoping, I found out how to get my microphone. I need to just get a splitter cable for my microphone, and I can hook it up to my PlayStation, so I should be able to do some audio soon.
If I got one of those, I could stream from my Xbox too. I need to do that too. I think that would be fun to do. To maybe, I don't know. We'd have to have 2 separate though, because I don't know. We couldn't have the same Twitch channel for just a Nerd Rage channel, could we?
We've got one. We do.
I can log into that one. And,
I would give you.
And stream from mine.
Yeah,
we couldn't do it at the same time.
Not at the same time. We'd have to set up. You'd have to set up. Yeah, which we'll probably end up doing anyway. Because there's just too many good games out there that we could play.
Well, speaking of tax refunds and things of that nature, that might be something I might be looking to get into, getting a headset for my Xbox.
That'd be
to do just that very thing.
That way we can get on there and start talking to all you people who want to watch us play video games and make fools of ourselves. So that'll be hilarious, and we'll be doing that. So, but we got some comic books we need to talk about, but we wanted to give some shout-outs to those. It's just a good little bullshit session episode. I would like to hear your thoughts. What do you guys think about Carl dying on The Walking Dead? What do you think about some of these new shows that are coming out? Lost in Space. What about the Frankenstein Chronicles?
I saw Punisher Season 2 added a couple new people, too, so we are getting a Punisher Season 2. I didn't even realize they'd been greenlit for a Season 2. I guess.
But what do you guys think about that? You can leave us a comment either on Twitter, at Nerd Rage Renegades on the Twitter. You can leave a comment on YouTube. Stephen Wilds is always putting comments on YouTube. Thank you so much, Stephen, for always giving the comments. I read all the comments on YouTube. And we are going to be dropping the Force 4 commentary this week. I'm getting.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait.
And Chief and I do apologize that we don't put the movie in the damn video, and we make.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that guy.
Motherfucker! It's because, first of all, it's illegal for us to put a movie up that we don't know the rights to.
Yeah, we don't know exactly who owns Teddy Ruxpin, but I'm that a big toy company somewhere does, so I'm not gonna fuck with that.
And also, anybody who knows, if you put something up like that, it's not, most of the time YouTube's going to get you, they're going to flag you, and we don't want to deal with that kind of hassle.
No, well, like I said, it's free to not watch as well. We throw it up there as like an extra thing that you can watch if you want to. It's not like you have to go. So, I mean, complaints are going to just be ignored on that front. It's like, here's the thing. You can choose to do it or choose not to. We don't care.
Yeah, but I do want to, thank you to everybody who puts, who puts stuff up. Stephen Wilds, of course, on last week's episode, gave us a comment. He said, I thought Justice League was fine, way better than Batman v Superman, but it's funny that I disagree with you guys on several things. I actually didn't like Ezra Miller as Flash, thought he was really awkward. That's your opinion, not a problem with that. Now, I'm a fan of the TV show, but there are some weak points for sure. They do address him eating a ton, mostly in the first season, though. J.K. Simmons and Jeremy Irons needed to be in that movie more. I agree 100% with that. More Jeremy Irons and J.K. Simmons, more Gordon and Alfred. Thought Aquaman was fine for the most part, but I do wonder if he'll be able to hold a movie on his own.
I think there's enough to Atlantis to make a cool Aquaman movie. They haven't even got to like some of the like giant sea creatures that are down in the depths of the ocean that you can control and shit like that.
Superman seemed overpowered, but that isn't just the movie. That's a problem in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they actually depowered him at one point in the comic books because he could do everything.
Yeah.
There was like no need for any other heroes, but I didn't think so. I thought that. I mean, at the end, he's kind of like the saving grace. I agree. He comes in like this shit doesn't bother me at all. I'm just gonna slap Steppenwolf around like a bitch. But yeah, I don't know. I like my Superman kind of overpowered though. I kind of like that he could just stand there with his hands on his hips like, oh, fuck you. I like Superman having fuck you power. That's what I like my Superman to have.
The terraforming thing only annoyed me because it was essentially the same villainous plot as what Zod was trying to do in Man of Steel. Fair point.
Well, I mean, but also a fair point, I would think, would be the fact that Zod Zod recently just terraformed a planet in the comics. Well, a future timeline Zod. But I mean, Darkseid makes planets into hellholes. That's what he does. So I mean, he conquers and subjects people. So I mean, that's most alien invasions like that are some sort of terraforming operation or end of the world scenario. That's why the Justice League exists. That's what I think.
That season with Ghost Rider and the life model decoys is my favorite thing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has done so far. I love the first few seasons of the Amazing Spider-Man. I love the first few seasons of the Avengers cartoon, but the Spider-Man one was almost a little too goofy for me.
Yeah, I mean, it had its moments though. There was a kind of cool Deadpool episode in it, and there was a cool one with Wolverine where they switched minds with Wolverine. And it was pretty good. But yeah, I agree for the most part. It's not my favorite. I don't watch it regularly. I watched like the first season of it. maybe the second season. I can't remember. I watched some of it. It's been on for a while. It's even switched titles now. It used to be like Ultimate Spider-Man, and then now it's like Spider-Man, I guess.
Yeah. But we do want to thank everybody who has been watching and listening to the commentary tracks. 21 on the Teddy Ruxpin. That was fantastic. Thank you so much.
Really? Wow, that's a lot more nice. Like I said, that's something that we just... We like doing that. Like, we would probably do that, but we decided to record it, just throw it there, just for fun if you want to hear it. But I'm surprised anybody is doing it. That's great.
Yep, it is the third highest listened to episode behind the number one is, of course, Legend of Bigfoot. Is our number one most, and then
how many has that got now?
Got 34. We're building it.
Really?
Yeah. And Chief, number 2, believe it or not, is the time machine I found at a yard sale with 30.
Really?
Yeah. So I mean, we understand that these
thanks
things.
Everybody that watched it.
Everybody watched those. Thank you. We understand we understand you got to sync it up, but we try to make the sync as simple as possible, especially if it's on YouTube, because all you really have to do is just go to that link. And it's already there. Just don't hit play. Go to 0, and
it's basically what VRChat started out doing. Mike Nelson and Kevin Murphy and Bill Corbett started out with VRChat doing that. They just released a track to a movie, and you'd have to supply the movie yourself. And but we try to make it easy too. Like we'll find them. We try to find movies that are on YouTube. We're branching off into Amazon Prime, but a lot of people have Prime too. So
yeah.
And some of these movies you might have. I mean, they could just be some crazy DVD. I don't know.
And we would like to know, what movies do you want us to do commentary tracks on? Once again, leave those in either comments on the Podbean, leave them on a comment on the YouTube video. You can leave them in a comment on Spreaker, any of the places that our podcast is on, which Crystal in just a few minutes is going to tell you every place that we're at. But leave us comments. Tell us what you would like to hear us talk about, what you would like to hear us do commentary tracks on. We love hearing from you all. You all have some great ideas. The live show, we loved hearing your questions and taking your questions when we did the live show a few months ago. No word yet on if we're going to do another one, but we probably will at some point. But we love hearing from you all. Stephen Wilds gave us an idea for a movie called Gramps Goes to College, so we're going to be looking for that. So with that,
is that like something you could find on YouTube maybe?
I don't know, but let us know what you think on the Twitter. Chief is at SpaceChief75, and I'm at the Nerd Rage Renegades official Twitter account. We are on the road to 2,700 followers. We are getting awfully close to 2,700. We want to hit that goal, so make sure you like, subscribe, retweet. If you like what we do, please hit that retweet button so everybody that you know can see it and they know us, okay? Hit that retweet button and follow us on all of our platforms. Of course, YouTube, Stardust. I haven't put anything new on Stardust in a while because I've been dealing with my knee and working, but I'll be getting back into the Stardust game here soon. Once again, YouTube, like and subscribe on there so you always know when something new comes out. Facebook.com/NR Truth Radio. Crystal will tell you everywhere that we are at.
The Nerd Rage Renegades are on the air every Wednesday on Podbean, Stitcher, Player FM, iTunes, Google Play, and every Thursday on GamingRebellion.com, Filling the Void Podcast Network, and now iHeartRadio.
And we are going to be looking forward also. If you are going to be at C2E2, let us know. Let us know if you're going to be at C2E2 so we can find you.
Yes, indeed. We are going to be there.
Because if you
rain or shine,
shine.
Nerd Rage Renegades will be there. At least one of us will be there. If everything works out according to plan, we will both
Chief,
be there.
Looks like both of us will be there. I got a little bit of confirmation this week. Looks like everything is good to go, buddy. Everything's good to go. So let us know if you're going to be at C2E2, because if you are going to be at C2E2 and you find us, you will be featured on an episode of the Nerd Rage Renegades podcast, as we're going to be doing live interviews.
We're going to be around for 3 days of fun in our elements, away from everything the big city.
No wives, no kids, nothing. It's just us.
Just the two of us loose in the city of Chicago. So it's going to be, we're on a mission from God.
We're on a mission from God. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. Chief and I. All right. Thank you all so much. That ends the proper portion of the show. We are about to go into this week's DC comic reviews. If you do not want to hear about the reviews, if you don't want anything spoiled for you, because they will be spoiled, go ahead, click off right now. We want to thank you for joining us. However, you want to hear our opinions on this week's DC Comics, stay tuned, because we're about to hit that spoiler alert, and we're going to talk some DC Comics.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! The Renegades are about to spoil this week's DC Comics.
Alright, DC Comics this week. Chief, we've got quite a few. You read a few, I've read a few. We've got stuff to talk about.
Yeah, I went back and read your recommendations from earlier.
Okay, good.
So I did read the Terrifics.
Alright, what did you think of the Terrifics? I enjoyed this. I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah, man, I dig it. I didn't know I for some reason I read all my normal books that I read normally, and I just didn't get to it, but then you reminded me that it's the Mr. Terrific team.
Yeah.
So I was like, I got to read that. So I went back today and I read it. I thought artwork is good, story's good. It's pretty awesome.
Ivan Reis and Jeff Lemire, storytellers on this, with Joe Prado as the inker, Marcelo Mayalo as colorist. This this is of all those new age of DC books that are coming out, like Sideways, Damage, Silencer, which we do get Silencer #2 this week. Of all of them, this is the one I was waiting on, because this one does feel like it is out of metal, because Mr. Terrific's played a part in metal, Plastic Man's has been so important lately and has been talked about in metal. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. Now, the one thing I'm kind of iffy on was the release time of this book. Releasing it before Metal #6 comes out.
That was odd. We got
with it.
We got a little too much. It got a little too much information of the end of how Plastic Man got out and what all happened.
So
because we don't actually see, we know he doesn't get out of the egg.
No,
we
he
know
gets out of the egg in this one.
Yeah, this is where he first comes out. So if anybody who needs those first, the reappearance of Plastic Man is in the Terrifics. He actually comes out of the egg for the first time in years.
And we actually find out how he got in the egg in the first place. Because he mentions that Batman, because of Plastic Man's molecular makeup, Batman was using Plastic Man to try to delve into the dark multiverse, and due to the energies, it forced him into that like protective egg cocoon, so he wouldn't be harmed.
Well, he came out like catatonic, whatever, after he touched the dark multiverse. He cocooned up, so they put him away.
But then exposure to it again releases him from the egg. Yeah. And it's the team is Mr. Terrific, it's Plastic Man, and it's Metamorpho. And then they meet this other girl on a almost like a dead god, like a dead celestial body.
Yeah. And it's got weird like mite things crawling all over it.
Yeah. And then that reveal at the end. That she's like, I've been here for years, there's nobody else here, I didn't send any distress beacon. And then at the end they find that it's a hologram of Tom Strong.
Yeah. Okay, I've read some new books. I had to try and think about the end of this. Yeah, you're right. And she can't turn. She's also got a power where she becomes intangible. It's like her race or whatever from her planet can become intangible. But ever since she's been on this dead thing, she hasn't been able to turn tangible again. And she hasn't been able to operate the ship or anything, because she says it's all useless. And Mr. Terrific knows how to turn the ship on, and they turn it on, and it's Tom Strong leaving a message.
It's so interesting. I love Plastic Man. He's funny in this. Metamorpho is good. The artwork is fantastic. The only thing I don't like about it is the timing of its release. I think this should have been that one book that was released after Metal, because it does answer a lot of questions about Metal. Yeah,
it's weird that they. Well, I guess it
does and it doesn't.
He must not be. I'm guessing Carter Hall is going to be more significant at the end of Metal
than Plastic
Man. So they just said, "Well, yeah, go ahead and release it, since he's not like consequential necessarily to the end."
Yeah.
Because evidently he doesn't come out of the egg, so I mean nothing happens. They just get his egg out of that cannon somehow.
Yeah. So excellent book. I highly recommend that you do pick up this issue.
Yeah,
all
that's
those new
one.
ones. This one is definitely a pickup.
I was surprised. I would go so far this week, being that maybe some of the titles I regularly read weren't quite as strong as they normally are. But I would say that this might be my pick of the week for something that kind of surprised me with how good it was.
I will agree. Now, one I thought was also pretty good was Detective Comics.
Yeah, that's
Trial of Batwoman.
Yeah, we're getting into like some Bruce psychology with this one.
I think the reason why I really enjoyed it is because it featured all the Bat family.
Yeah, even the Red Hood came in for it.
Just the Bats. We're not talking like spoiler. We're not talking Orphan. Just the Bats. All the Robins and then Batgirl are there. And yeah, first of all, I love that Damian has some pretty good lines in this.
Yeah, I like the. I don't think any of you should be able to be in here. Call yourself Bat Family.
Or even like Barbara telling him that it's okay. I was short too, and he's like, I'm actually a foot taller than my dad was at this age. Or
yeah, they're like, yeah, sure, keep telling yourself.
And I do like that Jason is there, and Jason is, of all the Bat family, Jason is kind of he even admits that he is the black sheep of the Bat family. But he basically says, I can be the black sheep. I've been down the dark paths. I've done the stuff that none of you all else could do or would do. So he kind of sympathizes with what Batwoman had to do in the killing of Clayface.
Well, he more or less says that he doesn't use his guns. He stays non-lethal out of respect for Bruce and the family in the Batcave, but he's not above doing what's got to be done. And so he thinks that you don't just kick somebody out for that.
I mean, he talks about redemption. Now, Barbara goes the other aspect. She just tries to analyze Bruce.
Yeah. Which, good luck with that.
Yeah. I mean, really, at this point, Batgirl, you don't really have a leg to stand on with the Bat family. You've been MIA for so long doing your own bullshit and your freaking Doc Martens. It's like...
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with her because I don't read the Batgirl comic at all, and I basically just read Batman and Detective, and you get your Bat family that way. Like, I don't read like all the other side Bat titles.
I mean, I read Nightwing and I read Red Hood.
I usually do read Nightwing, but I don't read Red Hood, and I don't read Batgirl, and I don't read Batwing. I don't even think that's a book anymore. But
no, it's not a book anymore.
But I never read that, and I would read some of those when they had tie-ins, like to an arc going on in Batman or something. But other than that, I don't read anything but tie-ins from most of the other titles.
So I mean, a really good. It's a good book. It's a solid book in keeping with this current storyline. Not
yeah. Well, you also got Kate. Kate's going to work for her dad. She's going to go work with that group, the Colony.
Yeah.
And head that up she's not going to be the Bat anymore, I guess.
I think the last one that we both read was Mera, Queen of Atlantis.
Yeah, did you think it? I don't know. Maybe it was a little slow for me.
Written.
There was too much like let's talk about she like rehashes her situation a bunch, like what's going on, and it's like
really,
it doesn't really move forward.
To me, and I think I like how Abnett did it. It seems more, instead of it being a Mera story, it's Mera's there, but she's sandwiched between an Ocean Master story.
Yeah, that's true. There's a little bit of that.
I mean, it's kind of a companion to... Right now, this book seems to me like a companion to Aquaman. It's like it's a companion piece to Aquaman.
Yeah. Well, you get the Ocean Master story a little bit with his family, his new family in the beginning, the first few pages. And then you do get a little action with Mera fighting the eel at the beginning. But then,
and a cameo by
goes
Superman
into, like,
and Wonder Woman.
Like, oh, I've got to just get through this because it's, me and Arthur are going to sneak away after a while and...
Yeah, I'm still gonna marry that man. He's gonna look at me one day as we walk on the beach and just say, "I love you, wife."
Yeah, there's like a bunch of flashback pages of like her. Oh, there's like two.
Yeah, of her
Not a
like
bunch,
training
but-
in Zebel and things like that.
Yeah.
Really, to me, it doesn't seem like a standalone. It seems like a companion to Aquaman, and then with like a.
It's a lot lengthier than I actually remember.
Yeah.
I'm just cruising through it right now. It's a pretty long book.
And then, like I said, an Ocean Master story wrapped around it. I
Yeah.
mean, it wasn't bad. It was good, but I guess we got to see if the tempo picks up a little bit with issue number 2.
I think it's just mainly because I'm not reading Aquaman right at the moment, so I probably would have enjoyed it a little more and didn't think it dragged as much had I been reading Aquaman. I am going to get that Aquaman though. That Aquaman looks cool.
Maybe understanding like what happened to Mara when she went through the crown of thorns and everything like that, it would make a little more sense.
See, they mentioned that in passing in this, and I didn't read that when that happened, and I'm sure that was probably impactful. So, yeah, I don't know. I it seemed like it was like now that I'm looking through it, it's a lot longer book than I remember. There's a lot more like action in it, and than I remember, and you get the Ocean Master stuff. But yeah, there's a few. There's more than a few pages of her sitting around talking to Superman and Wonder Woman, just sitting around kind of talking to it. She once goes to the who's this lady? She's like a
Tula.
No, she's not like she's like the counselor lady.
It's like a senator.
A senator.
Yeah.
Okay, and then she's like she's talking to her, and then some more flashbacks, and then you get the wrap up with Ocean Master at the end. But I mean, it seemed like there's like 4 or 5 solid pages of her just sitting around like bemoaning her situation with Superman and Wonder Woman and different people. So I was like, oh. But I guess it's not bad. I wouldn't say it's bad. It's not a bad book.
Right.
Just maybe not for me. I'm not a big, huge Mira fan, really. Not that I don't like her, it's just I don't really read anything that she's in, except for like Justice League when she shows up there.
Right. So I think this is where we diverged, and we read a couple different things. I know Action was out this week. Did you read Action?
Yeah, that's they finally kind of wrap up the future Krypton Lord Zod family future that they accidentally created. For a little recap, Superman used the Flash's cosmic treadmill to go back to the destruction of Krypton, and Booster Gold was made aware of it because his very presence changed history enough so that Krypton didn't actually explode when it was supposed to, and Booster Gold showed up as Superman was getting caught by Kryptonian guards sneaking around. And you got to remember when Superman's on Krypton, and that time he has no powers. He's powerless because they didn't have a yellow sun. So he's just a powerless dude walking around like a regular dude. And Booster Gold comes in and saves him. And you come to find out that Jor-El and Zod had teamed up and actually created a space fleet to actually evacuate Krypton. And so they escape from there, and they get out and they go back to Booster Gold's time, and he's wanted for crimes against time. And recap, so it eventually gets around, anyways, to make a long story short, they get to a future world that Zod has like terraformed and created a new Krypton on, and he just has subjected all the people there to his rule. He is like a tyrant, like lord of this planet. And so they get there, and they basically get crucified. Superman gets crucified on a big kryptonite like X, and Booster Gold's like behind him. And the Eradicator and Zod and his whole family gather around for public execution and are going to heat vision him to death. They do have powers on this planet because it's they have a yellow sun. Zod, I guess, made sure to terraform a planet with a yellow sun. So they do have powers. So they're going to heat vision him, and they're all heat visioning him. And Booster Gold has a shield, like a force field around him, but it's starting to break down. And come to find out that Booster Gold's little android buddy that travels with him through time has jumped into the body of an Eradicator robot and ends up rescuing them, and they end up getting back to the time capsule and getting out of there. But Booster Gold says just by the very act of them going back to Superman's right time should fix the timeline, because the future is malleable, because I guess this was a distant thing. I don't know what happens with with going back and changing Krypton. it seemed like some shit thrown together maybe.
Uh-huh.
With time travel in comic books is all fucking.
Well, they had to wrap it up because Booster Gold's going to be going to Batman here in a few issues.
Yeah, well, and he gets it back to the right time, we remember from when Superman went in the future, Lois Lane went to break her father out of a Logamban prison camp where they were going to execute him, and Jonathan Kent was with them, and Lois and her dad were both murdered by the Logamban military that had a sniper outpost in the jungle. They got shot down. So Booster Gold becomes aware of that and says, well, I'm not, I just saw Superman witness the death of his, it took him actually back to the destruction of Krypton and showed it to him from inside the time sphere so it wouldn't contaminate, so he could actually watch the explosion of Krypton. And he watched his mother die, and we found out, and this is a big reveal, that was actually Jor-El, that was Mr. Oz. He watches at the explosion of Krypton and sees Jor-El get teleported out at the last minute, and his mother dies there, and he watched his mother die. So anyways, they get back to Superman's time, and Lois and her father are dead, and Jonathan Kent's shot up and laying in the jungle, and Booster Gold's like, well, Superman just watched his mother die. I'm not going to make him come back home to his wife dead too. And so Booster Gold actually goes back and breaks the law and changes time and saves Lois and her father at the last minute. So he does change the past, technically. But I guess he's operating from the viewpoint that they technically left before that happened. So it was their future to change, coming back and divert the timeline. I don't know where they're going with that. Booster Gold seems to think he's in some kind of trouble for doing it. But he did Superman a favor and brought Lois back to life and saved their lives. So there's going to be some... maybe that's how he ends up with Batman. He's going to get punished. He gets sent to go hang out with Bruce.
Maybe. I took a look at Hellblazer this week. Constantine cannot catch a break. I'm telling you what. He just can't catch a break. So this is the start of a brand new arc. Tim Seeley writing it. David Fabry as the artist. The Good Old Days is the name of this. So Constantine finds himself in a predicament where he can't get it up.
Yeah, this is what I meant to get the Hellblazer and I didn't have time. I squeezed a couple more in this afternoon, but.
So he can't get it up, Chief. He's about to snog this girl, and he can't get it up. But until he realizes that there has to be like a little bit of like danger involved for him to actually, danger and a little bit of egotism for him to be able to get it up. And it does tie back into the story arc with the Norse dwarves.
Oh, really?
Because he mentions that one of the big he's like, the last time I could really ever do anything was with Chief Inspector Ames, the girl from that, back when he was a punk kid, had shagged in the bathroom and everything. So he goes to find her and shows up at her house, and he sees smoke coming out from under the door. So he kicks the door open and he finds himself in hell, face to face with Nurgle. And Nurgle's like, it's not time, Constantine, but your world's about to be our world. Well, we find out that there used to be a gang in London.
That's where they come warn him like that.
Yeah.
Why would he do that?
But there was a gang in London with these three brothers, and two of the brothers were killed, and the third brother denounced their ways and became a pastor. Well, he has found a way to resurrect his brother's spirits, or at least one of them, and that brother now inhabits Inspector Ames's body. So I liked it. It was a good setup issue. There was a lot more jokes in it about Constantine not being able to get it up. I thought those were actually kind of funny. It kind of felt more like a mature book than like a normal superhero story.
Well, I mean, it kind of should be.
Yeah.
I mean, the Vertigo stuff wasn't like kid stuff, really.
Yeah. So I enjoyed it. I can't wait to see what happens next. This is one of those books where very rarely is there anything astounding in it, but it's still, for me, it's just a fun read with Constantine. It's just fun to see what the next
Constantine seems to be kind of a long game to read. I mean, because stuff happened, like they're tapping back to those dwarves again now, like that happened months ago.
2 arcs ago, yeah. It's a long game book, so I enjoy it.
One of the other ones I read was The Flash. This one was pretty good. It's the last time Grodd had stolen Barry Allen's powers. Barry Allen's just powerless. And he's using Mina, who is the negative Flash now, and Multiplex, and they've set up this tower on top of a building where Grodd is siphoning Speed Force from everybody. Any speedsters are getting their Speed Force siphoned off, but he stole all of Barry Allen's power, basically, and the other speedsters are starting to get a little bit drained. They still have powers, but they're getting a little bit drained, so Wally West comes, and now Barry Allen has kind of deputized him as the Flash now of Central City. So Wally West steals the lightning rod they're using to do this, to focus with, and brings it to Barry. And Barry thinks he can jumpstart his speed, because there's minute traces of it they found in Barry's body still, of the Speed Force. And he thinks if he uses this lightning rod thing, he can jumpstart it and get his powers back. So he sends the new 52 Wally West and this other girl off to, I forget what her name is, the other speedster girl. Her name escapes me. But he sends them off to do something, and he sends Wally to go deal with Central City and the Speed Force siphoning shit. And then he's going to try to jumpstart his Speed Force, and Wally West is like, no, we need you, Barry Allen scientist, working on a way to do something about this and worry about your powers later. And Barry Allen is kind of, you find out he's kind of a little bit like vain and angry about losing his, like he's feeling like he got cheated out of his power, and he gets kind of mad, kind of snaps. He's like, I'm nothing without the Speed Force, and I'm going to get it back. And he gets and Wally West kind of pissed at him for doing it. But he's trying something, and he can't get it, so he has to go. He sneaks into Iron Heights and brings Godspeed, his costume, and he's enlisting Godspeed to help him, I guess, get his powers back. So it's the War of the Flashes is kicking up, and it's gonna get good.
Cool, fantastic.
And I read Teen Titans. This one's pretty good. It's just a little Beast Boy story. Beast Boys. You've been reading Titans. They disbanded the Teen Titans. The tower's blown up. They all had to move out. But Beast Boy, they're all planning to stay together and rebuild the tower and stay the Titans and become the Titans again at some point. And Beast Boy opts out and says, "No, I'm going to go off on my own for a while." So he leaves, and he meets this weird girl that's like she projects herself as a hologram to him, and he goes with her to this weird like pirate ship. It looks like the Teddy Ruxpin ship from the movie. They've got it like built out in the forest. And they like all live on it, and they're all these like weird like future tech kids that are all like really smart and develop technology. And she's developed this thing that I guess she can control people. So it's like a video game, like VR chip that you put up your nose and it goes into your brain, and so you can play video games constantly in your head, like just through your eyes. You can visualize video games and do different things, and it says you can like live in a dream world like 24 hours a day with this thing. So Beast Boy doesn't know all that about it, because a kid has one and he like wrecks a school bus full of his schoolmates and almost kills everybody. And Beast Boy like takes this thing and puts it up his nose, thinking it's just going to be a cool video game thing. So we're waiting to see where that's going to go. He's now with this group of like techno pirate people. So I like a Beast Boy story, so it's not bad. We'll see where it goes. Teen Titans is another one of those that has a little too much drama in it for me. Like, I like it. I especially like it when Damien's in it, and there's a Damien arc going on. But it's kind of hit or miss for me. But yeah, I love Beast Boy, so yeah, I'll have to keep following this one. So
safe to say, Terrifics was our Nerd Rage Renegades pick of the week.
Yeah, it's a good one. That's unexpected. I totally forgot about it until you mentioned it today. And I was like, oh hell yeah, I got to read that.
Make sure you guys go out this week, go to your local comic book store, give them some money, kick up your books, and enjoy your reading over the weekend. We'll be back again next week with some more content for you. Be on the lookout for everything coming on the YouTube. And until then, I want everyone to have a safe trip. And remember, you need a ride? You call Changwei Building Taxi Service. Oh, so fast, so cheap. Everybody
Taxi
so
tour.
fast, it's cheap, and you get free tour. Just pay for tour. Get in car. Yeah. No.
Bill's the greatest. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Renegades.